They all said he was finished, a criminal,
Donald Trump is a criminal,
a Russian agent,
he is a Russian asset,
and a threat to democracy.
President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy.
But now, something has changed. The same people who used to mock his policies are now backing off.
They keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy.
Well, to start this video, I would like to show you a clip of Bill Maher, him criticizing President Trump, talking about how he's a Russian asset and how he was paid by the Russians. And this is a clip of his views that he had of Trump before.
Okay, the big story, a lot of things happened. The big story was the FBI, we found out, was investigating the President of the United States for being a Russian agent. If you remember one thing about the last 2 months, that's it. And spoiler alert, he is. Called House of Trump, House of Putin, covers the same territory. Yeah. I'm sorry, but it's super obvious already. He is a Russian asset. This has been going on since the 80s. They were targeting for this. And Bob Mueller's report is just going to be what this movie and this book is. Yes.
Well, you hope so.
With even more, it is. It's going to be foolproof.
That was pretty solid segment. He kind of had real confidence in the belief that Trump is a Russian asset. And this is his now views that he have about Trump and his economy.
It would be hard to argue with it, I think, but I'll just say it and maybe we can just move on. Whatever it was, I don't think Trump was a Russian asset. I don't think Trump was a Russian asset.
I remember along with probably most people, was saying at the beginning, oh, you know, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the country was, the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but that didn't happen. Look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I gotta own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't.
After calling Trump a disruptive force for a long time, Bill Maher now says the economy is strong, the markets are high, and the people are living normally. Now let's move on to the second person who backtracked on their words. His name is Jon Stewart. This is a clip of him talking about Trump before, and then I'll show you the after of it.
But what I want to talk about as we get into this is the biggest issue of our time right now appears to be the threats to healthy, functioning democracies. And I think we generally view those threats as specific to people or movements. Donald Trump, autocracy, authoritarians, Christian nationalism. The idea, though, is let's look at it from the flip side. We were prepared for all scenarios. And each one of those scenarios, it was, how is Donald Trump going to finagle his way back into the way? How is he going to use undemocratic principles? What measure of intimidation and underhanded shenaniganery will this man use to worm his way back into the Oval Office? And it turned out he used our electoral system as it is designed. And in that moment, I thought, well, fuck, I'm not sure we have a team of lawyers for that. Fuck us, fuck me. I was wrong.
But as you can see, Jon Stewart haven't exactly flipped off on his position, but he have changed his views about Trump. He may not have changed it completely, but he have softened up over time. Alright, so next segment is a compilation of clips put together of different media organizations like MSNBC, CNN, talking about how Trump would take the country into recession.
The 90% chance of a recession.
Palpable panic on Wall Street. Red numbers and worries about something else that starts with an R. Recession.
We're seeing that Americans now are looking forward to perhaps a recession.
Donald Trump's plans for the economy would accelerate inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year.
Real quick, are you expecting a recession this year?
100% not. 100% not. If you look at the jobs numbers, they're very, very strong.
What you see happening today is so far we're on a similar path where there's, again, no noticeable increase in inflation as a result of these tariffs. And in fact, Not only that, but we put out a report a few weeks ago about how imported goods were actually getting cheaper relative to domestically produced goods.
You don't think we're headed into a recession in your plans at this point?
You know, there's no signs that we see at this point that we're in or close to a recession.
Unless we see the rate for goods increase beyond the decreases of the service economy, I'm not really worried about tariffs having an impact that will lead to a recession necessarily.
Well, as you can see, the media perspective about Trump's economy is slowly shifting. And one might ask, what's behind the shift? For that, we have to see some polls and surveys. Let's take a look at it. Now, this is recent Gallup data showing the collapsing trust in mainstream media, and it's at its all-time low right now. And one of the reasons why Republicans don't trust mainstream media is because of its lies. The lies that the mainstream media tells about Trump. But things have changed and the media is slowly coming in support of the Trump administration. These media figures aren't cartwheeling in support. They're actually reacting to an audience that's waking up to the fact that America didn't fall apart under Trump as the media showed. Matter of fact, the gas was cheaper under Trump. The price per gallon under Trump was the lowest on average compared to the previous presidents and one president after him. The media don't even usually talk about the Biden spike that happened, as you can see. Whatever, Trump had a really good economy. The gas was cheaper, the inflation was largely under 3%, and the borders were tight. But you know, there's one thing that the media still won't admit. It's the fact that they don't want to lose their audience by telling the full truth. That's why they use lines like, tariffs basically worked, but he's still a dangerous leader. Well, he was right on immigration, but he's still divisive. So they won't admit the truth directly, because then they would lose large amounts of their audience that just watch them because they don't like Trump. Now that Bill Maher owns up and Jon Stewart softly concedes, what changed? Did Trump become better in the second term, or the media started telling the truth about him? I think it's both. Trump got better and the media is slowly telling the truth about his policies. This was it for the video. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think of the video. If there's something that you would like for me to improve, I would work on it if you comment and tell me you didn't like that part. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care everyone, and bye-bye.